Students, one of the important topics for discussion in BBA course of Business Ethics and CSR is quality of work life. Quality of work life. So I thought before we start to come to the topic of quality of work life, we must first try to understand as to what is the quality of life. You must have heard that people using these terms rather loosely. How's life? It's a very common expression. How's life? You say life is cool. Or you say it's not cool, oh, it's not cool, man. Life is smooth. Life is good. What is meant by how's life? Life is personal to your human body and soul. Am I feeling good right now? Am I feeling bad right now? Am I feeling average? What is the quality of life? Does it change with circumstances? Physical circumstances? Does it change with physical conditions? Does it change when a pandemic takes over the globe? The quality of life is a very subjective concept. The factors which you may feel are important to be counted as the factors which contribute to quality of life may not be the same factors which I feel should be counted as quality of life. Imagine a young couple in love. For them, even if they are living in poverty, even if they are not living so comfortably, even if they don't have resources, but they are madly in love with each other, they say the quality of life is good because for them love is paramount. As time passes by, the initial aura or the mystique of love dissipates. Then comes the real life of you need a job, you need shelter, proper shelter, you need to have a society which you can relate to. Then they say life is not so good now. World Health Organization, World Health Organization (WHO), it defines quality of life as an individual's perception to their position in life in the context of culture, value system in which they live. So, individual's perception of their position. आपकी क्या position है? How do you compare yourself in the prevailing culture where you live? How do you compare your existence when you compare it to the value systems which you cherish, or the value system which the culture which your society cherishes, but you may not cherish it? Where are you in relation to your goals and expectations? Are you understanding me? Where are you in respect of your goals and understanding? Your own standards, your own concerns. So it's very broad ranging concept. It can include a person's health, psychological state, personal beliefs, social relationships, and the salient features of the environment I live in. So this is quality of life. It's a very subjective concept. For example, what is my quality of life? How do I feel? What is my perception on my own life in relation to my goal? Suppose my goal was at the age of 55, I should have been a member of Rajya Sabha. And I have not even I have not been even able to get a ticket from my political party for municipal corporation. So that means in my political career, I think I have not done so well. But I am economically well off. My family is very good. I'm happy with my family. I have a good friend circle. So I will weigh my own condition in life, my status in life, where have I reached in life, vis-a-vis my immediate environment, the larger environment, in terms of my goal. Suppose my goal was by this time I should have earned a Pulitzer Prize in writing. I have not been able to achieve that, but I am on my way to write one of the best novels. So I'm happy with my quality of life. I may not have achieved the landmarks, but I am close to them, or I have achieved the near landmarks. Okay, so quality of life, as I said, is a relative thing, and I have given you the WHO definition. But WHO definition is largely physical, psychological. The United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. So it is the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights adopted in 1948. It provides excellent factor that can be considered for evaluating quality of life. So the premise is certain things in United States may be certain things which are taken for granted, which are taken for granted, but they may not be taken for granted in a developing country like India. For example, unemployment dole may be taken for granted in United States. During pandemic, my friend from UK tell me that they are all receiving 750 pounds. 750 pounds is it's close to 75,000 rupees perhaps, or 70,000 rupees in the exchange rate. But if I start to receive 75,000 rupees or its rupee equivalent, my quality of life will suddenly rise, isn't it? Pandemic allowance, corona, COVID allowance for not being able to keep a job. This is what people are getting in United Kingdom. But the quality of life in UK may differ from my concept of well-being in India. So this declaration was in 1948. It's a list of factors which you can use to evaluate the quality of life. Quality of life. Mind you, we're discussing quality of life. We are not yet into quality of work life. And although this is a 70-year-old list, yet it represents an ideal to be achieved rather than a baseline state of affairs. So what are these factors? We should examine these factors. Factors that may be used to measure the quality of life. There are many. Freedom from slavery and torture. It may look very vague to us that this is considered to be a factor for quality of life, but you think of somebody in Afghanistan, where various ethnic groups, they are fighting, and one group has captured the other group. Think of a civil war in Liberia, or a civil war in Rwanda many years ago between Tutsis and what was the other group called? I've forgotten. Was it Hutu? Tutus and Tutsis. So there were many slaves. There was torture. Think of times when slave trade used to flourish. So people from West Africa, they used to be taken in ships to America and to Southern America, and they used to be sold off as slaves. So freedom from slavery and torture. It may sound strange, but slavery may still exist in some interior tribes, not officially, but it may exist. In India, Swami Agnivesh freed many child laborers who were virtually like child slaves from many mines in Haryana. It is said in Shikohabad factories where bangles are made in Firozabad, slavery still exists. Equal protection under the law. These are some of the factors. Freedom from discrimination. Freedom of movement. You are free to move wherever you want. So if you are living in a place where there is curfew, can you say that? Your freedom of movement is there? So naturally, quality of life is not good. So if a curfew is imposed, let us say curfew was used to be imposed several times in Srinagar and in certain districts of Kashmir. So naturally, the quality of life suffered because of terrorism or whatever. Freedom of residence within one's own home country. You can reside wherever you want. Okay, you want to reside in Uttarakhand or in Noida, you want to reside in Tamil Nadu, in Salem, in Purvanchal, wherever. Presumption of innocence unless proved guilty. These are some of the factors that may be used to measure quality of life. अगर ये नहीं है that you are presumed to be innocent unless proved guilty, ये नहीं है तो there is no quality of life. पुलिस ने आपको सस्पेक्ट किया एंड आपको अंदर डाल दिया. राइट टू मैरी, शादी करने का अधिकार. राइट टू मैरी, नॉट राइट टू फोर्सिबल मैरी, बंदूक दिखा के शादी नहीं. राइट टू मैरी, ये नहीं पेरेंट्स ने जबरदस्ती की और लड़की की शादी हो गई. राइट टू हैव अ फैमिली. Let's discuss right to have a family. You will say, sir, what is this? Which country does not have a right to family? In China, under the one child norm, you could have a family, but you had to control it. You could not have more than one child. So you saw there were many couples I saw in Africa. They would adopt a cat because there is one child has grown, he has gone. They are left all alone. Working professionals, they will adopt cats, Right to vote. Right to vote. India was the first democracy which got free. When it got free, all were given opportunity to vote, equal opportunity. One person, one vote. Right to rest and leisure. Right to rest. Think of the bonded labor. Right to rest. Right to be treated equally without regard to gender, race, language, religion, political belief, nationality, socio-economic status, and more. Right to privacy. Privacy is very important. So many people said Aadhaar is it's an infringement on your privacy. Suppose when Rajat Gupta was jailed, and then he was allowed to remain in his house. When he was out of jail, so he had a radio frequency tag. So wherever he went, the radio frequency tag will go. So he was not allowed to go outside a few meters or maybe half a kilometer from his house. Freedom of thought. Freedom of thought. Freedom of religion. Many countries, you see what is happening in Turkey today. From a secular country, it is becoming an Islamic nation. A church is being converted into a mosque by the state. It's a very famous church with a lot of sentiments attached. So, free choice of employment. You're not bound by a caste system. Think of India 100 years ago, where people of one particular caste were doomed to do the job which was meant for them because they belong to that caste, and that caste came to them because of their birth. Equal pay for equal work. Very difficult to attain. In Reliance, same position, 2 territory managers. I am telling you, 2 guys, 2 territory managers. I was a territory manager in Varanasi, there was a territory manager in Kanpur. The salary difference was huge. If he was getting X, the other guy was getting 2X. But anyway, that's a private enterprise. But by and large, equal pay for equal work, which means if you are in a factory, if I am crushing stone, if I am crushing 100 kg stone in one day, the other guy is crushing 100 kg stone one day, we should get equal pay. Right to education. Right to human dignity. So these are some of the factors, around 15-16 factors, which United Nations Declaration around 70 years ago, it says they are the factors which may be used to measure the quality of life. So if you have understood what is quality of life, we will move to quality of work life. Because our subject is quality of work life, but I thought we should also understand what is quality of life. So it's a very broad concept. It's a very broad concept. We will move to the quality of work life now. Now let's take the concept of quality of work life. Just like we defined quality of life as to what is an individual's perception about his own work, his own quality of life, his life, his social life, his personal life, maybe his professional life, and similarly, quality of work life is it pertains to the human beings and individuals own sense of his well-being, his sense of being how good he feels in work. Okay, so you can say that a person may feel that his quality of work life is good, or he may feel that his quality of work life is not good. It is in relation to person's own abilities. It can be in relation to person's organization or in terms of the person's effectiveness. Keith in 1989 defined QW. It's also called QWL, quality of work life. He says QWL is favorableness or unfavorableness of a job environment for people. So वातावरण कैसा है? If the वातावरण favorable है लोगों के लिए, favorable नहीं है, this is quality of work life. This is a new concept. It started in 1970s. So it's around 50-year-old concept. First it was coined by Louis Davies, and it appeared in various research journals and press in United States. As you know, all these things about human behavior, a lot of this studies of human behavior, of human resource, how do people think, they have largely emanated from West. So in 1972 in the international, there was first international QWL conference. So a conference was held for quality of work life to see what is the impact of environment or organization on the well-being of people. तो इसमें क्यों इंटरेस्टेड हैं लोग? Why are business interested in the well-being of people? Because well-being of people during the work life, it impacts the productivity. It's not that they are doing a philanthropic work. It's because business is concerned about effectiveness of people, their productivity. Everything is done with an objective, because suppose quality of work life has no impact on business. So who will be bothered? But because it has an impact on business, business is bothered. Kankha and Robbins, they said QWL as a process is a process by which an organization responds to employees' needs. These are some of the definitions. They are there in the presentation. I have mentioned it. All these definitions have been drawn from a lot of sources. So I've tried to give like what Prashada said, and what Louis Davis says, and what Kankha and Robbins said. Kankha and Robbins said it's a process by which an organization responds to the employees' needs in developing a mechanism to allow them to share fully in making decisions that affect their lives at work. Some more classical definitions, but the thought is that quality of life refers to the favorableness or unfavorableness of a job environment for the people working in that atmosphere. So if most of the people feel that the work atmosphere, the job environment is favorable to them, they will say quality of life is good. If they say it is unfavorable to them, they will say quality of life is bad. Let's take a simple case. Working in a factory, there were three shifts. There are three shifts in a plant. Morning shift starts from 6 a.m. in the morning to 2 p.m. in the afternoon. The evening shift starts 2 p.m. or the afternoon shift starts 2 p.m. in the afternoon, goes up till 10 p.m. at night. And the shift C, or the third shift, starts at 10 p.m. and it ends at 6 a.m. in the morning. 24-hour continuous process shift. There are certain number of people who are always called in C shift. That is a shift which starts at 10 in night and it ends in at 6 a.m. in the morning. See, night is meant to sleep, rest, isn't it? But this shift people, they always have to work in night. So their biological clock gets disturbed. Everything gets disturbed. So they will not feel very happy. For them, this night shift business is unfavorable. Am I right or wrong? Right? Suppose this shift is changed every week. If it is changed every 2-3 days, then by the time your biological clock starts to get adjusted to the shift, your shift changes. भाई मंडे ट्यूसडे आप मॉर्निंग शिफ्ट में आए, वेंसडे थर्सडे आप इवनिंग शिफ्ट में आए, फ्राइडे सैटरडे आप नाइट शिफ्ट में आए, तो आपका जो बायोलॉजिकल क्लॉक है, द वे योर डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम वर्क्स, योर स्लीप पैटर्न गेट्स डिस्टर्ब्ड, you know. So it may also not be favorable. So some people may say, okay sir, shifts, let for 1 week, one set should come in morning shift, that set should come in night or evening shift, and then in the third week they should come in a different shift. So 1 week, by the second day your body gets adjusted, and then after a week your shift changes. So it is not that you are continuously in B shift or you are continuously in night shift. Are you getting my point? So favorableness or unfavorableness. Uh, Traditionally, the management, it gave adequate attention to human values. But now in the present scenario, it is not necessary. It is not just adequate to give attention to human values. You have to see the aspirations. Human values क्या है? Kindness. But aspirations क्या है? Aspiration is, a person will say, I want to add more qualification. So there could be a young intern who's working for an advertising company after doing BBA. The girl or the boy has joined an advertising company and they want to do MBA also. So they are looking towards their company giving them leave, special leave, when they have to write the examination. They are doing it part time. They are doing this part time and they are looking forward. So quality of life. So employees are redesigning everything to achieve better quality of life. Some more definitions, because in the examination this definition asked, I found a very good definition from the American Society of T&D, ASTD, American Society of Training and Development. QWL is I will read it out. QWL is a process of work organization which enables its members at all levels to actively participate in shaping organization environment, methods and outcomes. QWL is a process which allows members to participate in shaping overall the environment of the company, the work culture of the company. So this is quality of work life. The value-based process, it's a value-based process. It is aimed towards meeting the twin goals. What are the twin goals? There are two goals. One is enhanced effectiveness of organization. Organization has to work better, and improved quality of life at work. So twin objective is more productivity, enhanced effectiveness of organization, then quality of life at work also improves. How is it possible, sir? I tell you how it is possible. Suppose, let's go back to the example of young people who are there and they want to, they have joined an advertising company after their BBA and they want to do their MBA. So they want special leave. So every semester there are 6 examinations, so they want at least 10 to 12 days leave. But 10 to 12 day leave, so will it impact the organization? Will it impact the productivity? They say, no sir, don't worry, we will do flexi time, we will work more, we will work from home, and we will not allow our day to day work to be impacted. It will not suffer. हम घर से काम करेंगे, लेकिन हमें जब हमारा एग्जाम है तब हम फोन नहीं ले जाएंगे, उस दिन हम फोन अटेंड नहीं करेंगे. In the process, they are getting more educated. They are learning more about advertising and marketing and what have you. They are doing a professional course. So is the organization not going to get positively impacted? So twin objectives are being achieved. So QWL is basically concerned with the concept of taking care of the higher order needs of employees. And employees whose higher order needs are met becomes a much more developed, evolved human being, a human individual. And this in terms help him become a more valuable member of the organization. Right or wrong? Let's, you have seen Hindustan Aeronautical Limited, HAL, is a wonderful example of this. It encourages encourages its trainee engineers to go for higher qualification in management. It encourages them to go for a special course. Suppose somebody wants to go for a special course in uh, aircraft maintenance, he is allowed to go for that course. When I was working for Indian Oil Corporation, I expressed an interest to work in the public relations department. One of the jobs of the PR, it was corporate communication department, it later was called corporate communications department. So when I expressed an interest, uh, my management, my DGM HR said, Sudhir, why don't you do a course in journalism? Because one of the important functions of corporate communication is to bring out a magazine called Parivar, which is read by each and every IOC Indian Oil Corporation worker, from worker to MD. Everybody reads it. It is given to him or her free of cost. Maybe now there is a soft copy and or a PDF or a digital version, but those times, and everybody used to look forward. My wife used to say, okay, next issue of Parivar is coming. One, there was one Raghavendra Rao who used to do a photo feature. He used to do visit every issue. He will cover a unique place in India, maybe a temple or a palace or a mosque or a stadium, and he will write a feature on it. So, Sudhir, why don't my DGM HR said, Sudhir, we will, you enroll for a course in journalism and we will reimburse your fees. So I told my divisional manager, sir, I want to enroll in a course. He said, but what time the course will start, sir? The course starts at 6 in the evening to 8. It's a course in YMCA. He said, no problem. The office is over by 5. Normally, officers are supposed to, they sit there and they perform. They have to work. He said, Sudhir, you can go at 5:30, you can leave. No problem. We will not disturb you. You can keep your pager off. During those days, we used to get pagers. So I attended this course. I came out in flying colors and I was able to contribute to my department of corporate communications because I was trained in all the facets of journalism, report writing, feature writing, of course, and uh, how to cover an event. Suppose Indian Oil Corporation is doing a marathon, so I could cover it as a correspondent. So my aspiration found a window of opportunity in Indian Oil Corporation. It's a great organization. So I was able to meet my higher order need, and was also able to contribute to the organization cause. Benham has said QWL is based on general approach and an organizational approach. The general approach includes all those factors affecting physical, social, economic, psychological, and cultural well-being of workers, while organizational approach refers to the redesign and operation of organization in accordance with value of democratic society. Two approaches: general approach, physical, social, economic welfare of the employees; organizational approach, in which you change, redesign the operations in accordance with the value of democratic society. So look at Indian Oil Corporation. It gave me freedom to pursue a course. It reimbursed me the fees or the fees I paid for the course. And in case of workers in a bottling plant or in a production unit, it redesigned that, okay, we will not change shifts so frequently. Redesigned the entire organization process. So both the approaches, general approach as well as organizational approach. So what a great organization. Who will not like to work for Indian Oil Corporation? So this is meant by quality of work life. In the subsequent slides, we will cover what are the qualities of work life. So I hope you have understood quality of life, quality of work life. Thank you. After having understood what is meant by quality of life and what is meant by quality of work life, it is natural that we try to understand what are the various factors which are affecting quality of work life. You will remember that in quality of life, I have told you what are the parameters of quality of life. And in factors affecting quality of work life, you have to remember that quality of work life means the general perception of feeling of favorableness or unfavorableness which an employee feel or employees feel in relation to their organization. And we said that there is twin objective. One is to ensure that the employee is happy, his morale is high, and he feels a valued member, and at the same time to increase the productivity of the organization. The organization also, there is a value addition to the organization by way of all the steps which a company takes to ensure that the quality of work life improves. So what are the various factors which affect quality of work life? There are six principal factors which I have enumerated from various sources. The first is job security related issue. The most important thing, especially we have seen recently in the time of uh, pandemic, many people have lost their jobs. So job security related issue, it impacts quality of work life in a very major way. You found that a lot of migrant workers who were working in factories, even in organized sector, they had to leave because their organizations did not pay them. Maybe they were not in a position to pay them, but they had to leave, and they had to go back to their villages. I came across a sorry state of affairs of a salaried person who was working for municipal corporation, and he lost his job, and he had to fend for himself. He was not able to provide 2 square meals a day to himself and his family members. So job security related issue impacts quality of work big time. So what happens in a factory? You have seen a lot of factories in and around Greater Noida and in Gurgaon. A lot of factories where there is a concept of contract workers, that is based upon the demand of from the market. The factory will arrange its production cycle or its production schedule, and workers may be laid off, workers may be retrenched, workers may get employment, they may not get employment if they are not permanent in nature. So such workers are, their quality of work life is very poor. Good, bad, ugly, we're not talking that. In United States, you will find that most of the wages are paid hourly, even to knowledge workers, even to people who are into marketing. The amount of time they log into their system and then they write emails to their prospect and customers, they are paid as per the hourly wages, as per the number of hours spent doing the job. So job security is a huge factor, huge factor in quality of work life. If the job is not secured, then quality of work life cannot be good. If the job is secured, then people move on to the other aspirations or other ambitions. Second factor which is very important is health and well-being. Health and well-being. Take the case of a plant which poses inherent health hazard to the workers who are working in them. Let us take the case of a factory which is producing arms and ammunitions, and especially ammunitions, or if there is a factory which is making firecrackers. So a lot of chemicals which are detrimental to one's health. are used in those factories, and workers have a constant exposure to such chemicals. This can impact the quality of work life. So, if the company does not provide adequate measures to ensure that the health is not compromised, the health of workers is not compromised because of the processes or because of the various ingredients which are used in the factory, the quality of work life cannot be good. Think of the current atmosphere. Again, we are coming back to the current atmosphere because this is the most relevant example I can give. If you are working in a plant and you're not provided the face mask or the sanitizers, or if the proper ventilation is not there, cross ventilation is not there within the factory, so it can impact the health of the workers adversely big time, resulting in poor quality of work life. So health and well-being, it is also seen that a particular a particular employee can develop a health condition, and sometimes the companies, they try to adjust that worker or that officer. I recall a worker who was severely handicapped after a particular accident, and he was working in a bottling plant in Indian Oil Corporation, and the worker was given a duty which were less strenuous duties, uh, which involved less of physical labor. So in a bottling LPG bottling plant, a worker is supposed to lift the cylinders also to load and unload. So he was given a job of a tallyman, wherein he needs just to count the number of cylinders. So this is one way of addressing the health and well-being. The employee is not well, he is temporarily not in a position to discharge certain functions, and the company shows a big heart and adjusts that worker in some other department. This is how good companies take care of the issue of health and well-being, thereby not compromising on the quality of work life of the worker. Third factor is lack of job satisfaction. Now, lack of job satisfaction is a very vast term. A person may not be satisfied in his job if he finds, because of variety of reasons, that he is not adequately compensated. He works more number of hours, and in comparison that, if he had worked elsewhere, he would have made more money. That could lead to dissatisfaction. Job dissatisfaction could come also if you do a job which is seemingly, or which is actually very inferior compared to the quality or potential you have. So if you engage a graduate engineer and if you deploy him in a position which requires just some elementary supervision, he may feel that his skills are not adequately taken care of. This is so companies have variety of techniques to address these issues. Company has variety of techniques to address these issues, but lack of job satisfaction also is a factor which impacts the quality of work life. And I said there can be competency and performance issues. You may be actually less, you may not have those skill sets, you may not be competent. So if you are a rigger is a person, if you have seen those telecom towers, telecom towers which are there on the ground or on the rooftops, on which antennas and microwaves are hung. So if you are a rigger and you have you develop asthma, or you develop some kind of a problem which leads to vertigo, so you are not competent to carry out that job. You may be given the job of a auditor. You are an accountant, you are a professional accountant, and you have had no training in being an auditor. So this could lead to a competency issue, and you have not been trained, you have not been fully developed to discharge duties. So these are competency and performance issues. This can impact the quality of work life. I remember a person was he was from mechanical engineering background, and because there was an emergent issue in the lab, in the testing laboratory of a oil company, and he was shifted from his core department, which was maintenance of mechanical parts, to laboratory. And suddenly he found himself at completely stunned. He did not know how to carry out the initial boiling point test of a diesel sample. So, and he had to rely upon the workers, and so workers have less respect for him because the boss does not know the process. This created stress. Of course, he learned on the job, but it created, his quality of work life suffered. Then work and non-work life. This can also impact quality of work life. Imagine a person going through a messy divorce, and he has to, his state of mind is very bad, or somebody whose spouse is going through a illness, or a aging parent ailing at the house, and he has to rush to the hospital, and he has to do multiple jobs. Then there is a mental strain on his mind. This is work and non-work life. This can also create stress. Last but not the least, there could be workplace stress. What is workplace stress? Workplace stress stands for, stress means the tension, stress. Workplace stress is the negative burden on your mind which comes because of certain issues which are related to your office or your organization. For example, you are working in a production unit, and you are a supervisor, and normally you have a, in your shift there are 100 workers, and there are 3 supervisors who come in the shift to effectively supervise the 100 workers, and you are the only one who's reporting. The two have gone on leave, and you are supposed to ensure that productivity also does not suffer. You are not given any help by the management. This creates workplace related stress. Or suppose the atmosphere at the workplace is very stressful. There is continuous bickering between the supervisor and the workers. Which person should be deployed at which workstation? There is always a fight. There is always a fight as to what should be the production target of that particular unit. The atmosphere is tense. There are no proper relieving duties. There are no periods of rest. So this creates lot of workplace stress. So all these factors, they culminate, they put together, they form what will be the quality of work life. Let us now examine what are the ways to achieve excellent quality of work life. Excellent quality of work life. As we explained that, jobs, lack of job satisfaction and related issues could be important factor in defining the work life. So if you ensure job satisfaction, it will ensure that the quality of work life is good. How is job satisfaction ensured? If you give meaning to the job, and if you are able to instill a sense in a worker that all the steps which he is taking is leading to a final productive output, he will feel motivated. You could also match the skills of that particular worker or that officer with the current job which he is performing. Uh, for example, and I'm giving you an example from a small enterprise, an enterprise which uh, does not have more than 10 workers. There is one person who's in charge for administration, and by administration means, he does everything from ensuring that the bus is arranged, the taxis are arranged, tickets are arranged for people who are traveling, and but the guy shows verve and energy and enthusiasm at work, and he's a he happens to be a graduate in commerce, and he's good at accountancy. So if you also involve him with the accountant, because in a small unit of 10 people, he may have some spare time. If you involve him also with the accountant, with the view that he learns and he's able to contribute, and his contribution, it results in increase in the performance or the overall productivity of the organization, you are able to do two things. You are able to assist the accountant who's hard pressed on account of lack of resources, and you're also able to motivate positively the guy who's just there as an administrative assistant. This is how you are trying to. I'm just giving you an example. There are several things which can be done in another SME for which I was a consultant. There was an IT person, and his he was most of the time free, but he was to be permanently staffed in the organization, because if there arose a IT problem, then the work would come to a standstill. So uh, he was also interested in knowing what is the procurement method, and he was also interested in knowing how could he assist the procurement manager. So and he was allowed to do this, and he was allowed to assist in the process. He also his mental faculties were also getting developed. So job satisfaction, of course, you have to see that the mix and match is proper, and it should not be at the cost of someone's original intended work, getting jeopardized. Training and development is an excellent way of achieving quality of work life. As I gave you an example of a person who was suddenly shifted to a laboratory after a mechanical, after working in a mechanical unit. So if he is trained, and if a person is getting promoted from supervisor to a managerial position, if he's given if he's exposed to a developmental course, this will help him achieve quality of life. Reducing workplace stress, cutting politics out, that will also ensure uh, a better quality of life. Work life balance. After all, out of 24 waking hours, 8 hours we are spending on sleeping, 8 hours are spent on work. So that means, and 8 hours at home. There has to be a perfect work life balance, and this can be achieved if possible, wherever possible, if you do flexible working hours. Of course, flexible working hours are not possible in an assembly line situation, but in other organizations, work life flexible working hours are achievable. Work from home. Today, ICICI Lombard, with whom I have been coordinating for some work, I find that all their service customer service executives are operating from home. Remote working. You could work in one place. Because of automation, it is possible that you could be controlling or you could be performing work at a site which is far away. This is by way of machine to machine learning, and by the use of remote monitoring systems, you can achieve a work life balance. So if you are a telecommunication engineer, and even if you are on a holiday, and if you are required to open the door of a telecommunication shelter remotely, you could be in Coimbatore, and you could open the shelter door, or you could switch off the generator of a place in Ladakh. So these are all tools because of the advent of technology, which can help you achieve work life balance. You can improve working conditions and job environment. It's a proven fact that if a truck driver, if his cabin is air conditioned, his efficiency goes up by 25 to 30%. If it is air conditioned, if you are working in an air conditioned atmosphere, your efficiency goes by 20 to 25%. Imagine. And if you are working with a working on a computer, of course, it's a proven fact that your efficiency increases. An atmosphere of respect and fair play. Respect the person who is discharging a duty, especially if he is discharging a duty with very little supervision, and he is doing work which is precise, which is accurate. you should respect, and there should be a sense of fair play, a sense of equity, no nepotism uh, in the workplace, a fair system of reward, a fair system of reward for which a very good system of performance appraisal should be there. There are certain techniques also of important techniques of improving the quality of work life. Job enrichment. Job enrichment, I have explained to you when I gave you the example. You could add some jobs to a person who has got higher caliber, who has got higher, who has merit to increase his performance, or who can do multiple duties. Okay, job enrichment is there. Job rotation also leads to improving the quality of work life. What is job rotation? It is it is a well known fact that if you are doing a same job over several months, you develop a sense of monotony and boredom. But if you rotate the job, when you start a new job, the sense of novelty brings some cheer, some enthusiasm in you. Job rotation and job enrichment are two very good techniques. Quality circles. Ishikawa in Japan, when they started the total quality management systems, he used a lot of statistical quality control techniques in production, and they they set up quality circle. Quality circle can be described as a small group of some people, maybe 3 to 13, who meet for an hour every week to identify, analyze, and solve problem related to their work. So they will start once a week, they will meet, or 1 or 2 hours, they will exchange ideas as to what is the problem, how do they improve it. The solutions are then sent to the management for implementation, and first approval and then implementation. So in quality circle, even the grassroots workers are involved. This gives a workers a sense of participation in the process of management. He feels enriched, he feels empowered. Not only does it result to higher productivity, because many a times, see, the user of the machine knows the real limitations and the real strength of that machine, and because of his long association with that machine, he is able to give some suggestions, and if these suggestions are implemented, the user feels happy. Quality circle or self managed work teams, they are considered excellent for improving the uh, work life quality. So I have given you these three techniques: job rotation, job enrichment, and quality circle. And I have given you around seven ways you can achieve excellent quality of work life. So I hope you will go through these video lectures, try to understand. When you start to work, maybe you will implement and you will remember all these points. Thank you for this lecture.